What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, you're talking sports with MG Johnson. Today, we have the 2021 NFL Week 8 Power Rankings. Now, before we get into today's video, make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so that way you don't miss any videos or live stream that goes down on the channel. But ladies and gentlemen, this week we have the Week 8 Power Rankings. We go from 32 to number 1. You guys who've been around the channel know how it goes if you're new. We got every 32 teams ranked from 1 to 32 going into this week. Let's get right into today's video, ladies and gentlemen. At number 32, we got the New York Jets. The fall of the New York Jets continues. Zach Wilson got an injury. Hopefully he can come back healthier than ever. But the New York Jets are just going to be a tanking team all year. And it's not much to expect out of them. At number 31, you're going to have the Houston Texans. Obviously, they have a lot of Deshaun Watson rumors going on. And their team is just on a rebuild mode. Just traded Mark Ingram away. A lot of things going on outside of the football field for the Houston Texans. And then on the field, they just haven't done anything since week 1, since they got that win. And it's just probably going to be that way for the rest of the season. At number 30, you got the Miami Dolphins. And listen here. Miami and Tua it's just not going to work out. It's not going to work out. I'm sorry. Tua, he can still be a decent quarterback, but it's not going to work out with him in Miami. He answered the question weirdly when he asked if he felt wanted in Miami, and there's just a lot of things going on. Watson going to Miami rumors is just, you can tell it might be playing a factor in his mental state and how he's performing on the field. But other than that, man, they lost a game-winning field goal to the Atlanta Falcons, but, you know, they still lost, and they also only have one win. At number 29, you got the Detroit Lions. This team, the reason why, you know, you guys might ask, oh, well, they're 0-7. They're the only team that doesn't have a win. Why are they not number 32? Because, yes, the Jets, they technically do have more wins than the Lions. But let's be real, the Lions deserve to win more games than the Jets ever won this season. And the Lions, they keep giving effort. They tried against the Rams. They basically tried against all 7 teams that they lost to, and they just couldn't put the pieces together. Lions at number 29. At number 28, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence and the crew. They got a win a few weeks ago, but, you know, the Jaguars with Urban Meyer, it's just a rebuilding state now. And like, to be honest, they're probably going to be a 1-win team this year, 1-16. I don't really view them that highly. Like I said, they got their first win a couple of weeks ago, and against the Dolphins in London. But other than that, they haven't done nothing this season. At number 27, you got the Washington football team. What's funny about Washington this past week is that Taylor Heineke thought he got a touchdown, tried to do the Lambeau leap, but it just didn't work out. They lost to the Packers, and I believe they're tied for 4th in the NFC East, which, I mean, I'm an Eagles fan, so you know how the NFC East goes. But yeah, Washington lost to Green Bay last. Also, just the defense has been the biggest disappointment for them this season, and hopefully their defense can get back to what they've, you know, been. And it's not even the defensive line has been disappointing. It's the secondary. Like, I thought the secondary would definitely be way better, but they haven't, unfortunately. At number 26, you got my Philadelphia Eagles getting absolutely embarrassed by the Las Vegas Raiders. That was just a complete embarrassment. I mean, what can I say? The Eagles got 100% embarrassed. You look at what happened after Miles Sanders got hurt. Hopefully he can come back healthy. Hopefully the injury is not that serious for him. But after Miles Sanders got out the game and we stopped running a good game plan, everything just went downhill for the Eagles. And I might make a separate video about them, just talking about everything that has gone on throughout the first 8 weeks of the season. All right, let's go to number 25. Now you have the Carolina Panthers. You want to talk about a team that fell off? I mean, they started off 3-0 and hasn't won a game since. And it's crazy because Sam Darnold started off the season really good, you know, not being, you know, careless with the football, playing smart football, making some great throws. But now it's back to the old Sam Darnold we all know from the New York Jets, throwing interceptions, getting sacked, and just all these things, man. It doesn't look good there for Carolina. Hopefully they can get Christian McCaffrey back and healthy on the field, because without McCaffrey, let's be honest, this offense is completely different, and it doesn't flow the same way when McCaffrey is there. Let's look at number 24. You have the New York Giants. Daniel Jones. I mean, he had a nice catch. What can I say? But, they got the job done versus Carolina this past week. Absolutely destroyed them. Great performance out of Giants defense. Giants, they're trying to get a couple of wins here, but, they're still close to the bottom of the NFC East. So they're not nothing to brag about, but great performance, especially on the defensive side of the ball this past week versus the Panthers. At number 23, you got the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears, I mean, what can I say about their last game? It was 38-3 against the Buccaneers. I mean, it's not really much to say about what happened to the Bears. That game was just one-sided the whole time. It was literally nothing. I didn't even recognize the Bears were on the field that game. All I seen was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just score touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, keep scoring points, and the Bears weren't even recognizable on the field last week. They are ranked number 23. And number 22, you got the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, haven't won a game since Russell Wilson got hurt. What do we all expect? It's not really much to say about them. Had a good defensive performance against the Saints. Didn't allow that many points, but they gotta find a way to rally around Geno Smith until Russell Wilson returns. At number 21, you got the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, another team in a similar situation of the Carolina Panthers, where they started off good, 3-0, and they have not been the same since. Teddy Bridgewater hasn't looked as great as he did. The defense with the Broncos is still pretty good. Still got, great players, Von Miller, Justin Simmons, great players on the defense, along with others. But, Denver, we knew when they started off hot, or at least some of us knew, that it wouldn't be the same once the season, once everyone goes back to reality. Like I said, just like the Panthers, starting off undefeated and then just falling off ever since then. Denver is ranked at number 21. Number 20, you got the San Francisco 49ers getting beat by the Colts. And I hear Niners fans that I talk to personally, they are done with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy G started last game, and it didn't look too well. Man. But they do got Deebo Samuel, who's having a great year at the wide receiver position. Had another 100-yard game, had a touchdown on top of that. So you got good things to look for. But Niners fans ready for Trey Lance to fully take over the job. And we'll see what happens there in San Francisco, man. At number 19, you got the Atlanta Falcons getting a game-winning field goal last week against the Miami Dolphins. Young Wei Koo, that's his name, kicker, game-winning field goal. Hey, had ice in his veins. Was a good game. Kyle Pitts is really starting to cheer up the last few weeks, and that's what you like to see from Kyle Pitts. This is what he got drafted for at, I believe, number 5 overall or number 3, one of those two picks. But getting drafted in the top 5 as a tight end, and he's finally shown why that was the right decision. All right, at number 18, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers were on a bye week last game against Seattle Seahawks. TJ Watt, he's been looking great lately, man. He's affecting the game, starting to cause turnovers, get sacks, and this is the TJ Watt that we all know, and that's the TJ Watt that they extended, man. This guy is really making a big case of being one of the best defensive players this year. I mean, if it wasn't for Trayvon Diggs having all these interceptions, everybody might be saying TJ Watt could be the defensive player of the year. But obviously, everyone's saying Trayvon Diggs right now because obviously all the interceptions and stuff. But you get what I'm saying. Pittsburgh, good defensive performance the last time they were playing. And, Big Ben, he's just not, obviously his arm isn't as great as it was, but he's still a decent quarterback who can get the job done on certain games. So at number 18, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers. At number 17, you got the New England Patriots. Not a bad season, and not a bad last few weeks for Mac Jones. They absolutely destroyed the Jets. That just like I said about how I seen some of the Bears game. It's like I didn't even recognize the Bears because they got blown out so bad. That was kind of the same with the Patriots. Like, they blew out the Jets so bad that I didn't even realize the Jets were on the field. It was just like the Patriots were just walking down the field just against nobody, because that's what the Jets defense looked like and just all around. But the Patriots got a big blowout win against a division team, and not a horrible season for the Patriots. They definitely have been in some games this year, and they definitely still a solid team. At number 16, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. You want to talk about probably one of the biggest surprises this year, the Chiefs not being a top 10 team. And I'm not the only one who doesn't have them ranked in the top 10. Everywhere else that I've looked this past week, everyone says, or really the last 2 or 3 weeks, the Chiefs aren't a top 10 team right now. And that's surprising because everybody thought the Chiefs would be, winning their division. Everybody thought the Chiefs would, come out and just do what they do. And be a dominant football team, but they're not showing that. The defense is absolutely trash right now. Absolutely trash. And that's not what you want to see from the Chiefs defense. And Patrick Mahomes, hopefully that he can come back fully healthy as well. Got hit and got himself a little bit banged up last week, but hopefully he can come back healthy. But they got destroyed by Tennessee. But number 16 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now let's get into the top 15, ladies and gentlemen. At number 15, you got the Indianapolis Colts. And they kind of turned their season around, man. Started off, I believe, 0-2, 0-3. But they're starting to make a late rally, or not a late rally because it's not late in the season, but they're starting to make a rally into the season, getting themselves a couple of wins. Carson Wentz playing really good the last few weeks, at least. And that's good to see. You got Michael Pittman Jr. What a good catch this past week against San Francisco. And excuse me, Darius Leonard, the linebacker that they pay a lot of money to. He's shown why that he deserves to be, one of the highest paid linebackers in the league. And I love Darius Leonard, what he does, anchors the defense over there in Indianapolis. And then the offense, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Carson Wentz playing well the last few weeks. It's pretty good in Indianapolis, trying to make themselves back in playoff contender and trying to compete for that division down there in the AFC South. At number 14, you got the Minnesota Vikings. Kind of a quiet team, kind of a quiet and underrated team, but they still can get a couple of wins here. Vikings were on a bye last week, but the last time we seen them out there, they got an overtime win versus the Carolina Panthers, man. And Kirk Cousins ain't playing bad. But like I said, the Vikings are kind of a quiet team. Not a lot of people are talking about them. But, they get a couple of wins here and there. Now, I'm not saying they're the best team, but definitely one of the more underrated teams in the NFL. And I got them ranked inside the top 15, ranked at number 14. At number 13, you got the Cleveland Browns. The Browns, a team that I thought would be a top 10 team for majority of the year, but the injuries are starting to catch up to them. Baker Mayfield did not play, even though they did defeat the Denver Broncos the last time they were out. But, obviously with Baker, not being able to play, it is going to affect this team in certain ways. Not saying that Case Keenum is just absolute garbage, but, when Baker's leading the team and Case Keenum's leading the team, you see the difference there, especially offensively. But, Myles Garrett's still doing great things on the defensive side of the ball, and they still can get the job done with Case Keenum. So they are still a top 15 team ranked at number 13. At number 12, you got the New Orleans Saints, man. Saints, I believe they're, 4-2, 5-2? They're not playing bad football. Another team, just like the Vikings, nobody's really talking about them, but they're getting the job done. Traded back from Mark Ingram this past week, even though he's more of on a back end of his career. But he can still, knows the system, and he can still, mentor and help out Alvin Kamara, so Alvin Kamara doesn't have to take the full load in the running game, and it helps them with the Mark Ingram acquisition they recently made. And like I said, underrated team playing really, really good football. Beat the Seattle Seahawks on Monday night by a field goal. Defense played well that game. So, number 12 was the New Orleans Saints. At number 11, you got the Las Vegas Raiders, man. They destroyed the Eagles this week. Obviously, I'm an Eagles fan. I watched the whole game, and that was just an embarrassment they put on the Eagles. Derek Carr having an amazing completion percentage. I believe he threw for over, 85, 90%? I mean, the guy went 31 for 34. He had 2 touchdowns, absolutely carved up the Eagles' defense. Derek Carr, man, was playing a very smart, accurate football game last time they played. And it's just great to see. I believe they're tied for the division lead with the Chargers, or might have the division lead. I don't know. But the Las Vegas Raiders, man, they're showing that they could sneak into the playoffs this year. And I believe the season ended today. They'd be in the playoffs. So, Raiders trying to make their case for the playoffs, man. At number 10, you got the Los Angeles Chargers. They came off of a bye, but the last time they were out, man, they got destroyed by the Ravens. But we're not going to use that one game against them, because the Chargers have been playing well most of the season. Justin Herbert getting a job done over there for them. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen doing great things in the receiving core. Austin Eckler. I mean, if you have Austin Eckler in fantasy, I know you're like, just absolutely just loving Austin Eckler. You might go buy his jersey because Austin Eckler does get great numbers, does great in the running game and the receiving game. So great job there from him. And the offense of the Chargers has just been good all year. The defense can give up a lot of points at times, but Asante Samuel Jr., the rookie for their defense, he gets some interceptions, man. He gets turnovers. So number 10, you got the Los Angeles Chargers. At number 9, you got the Baltimore Ravens. Now, you could argue I could have them over at number 8 because the number 8 team is, I'll say that in a second, but the Baltimore Ravens, they took a loss to Cincinnati, got bumped down a little bit, but it's all good. Division rival, you expect these things to happen sometimes, and I believe that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will be back next week. It's just that Marlon Humphrey got cooked by Jamar Chase, but it's all good. Ravens got to take their loss and come back. And at number 8, you got the Tennessee Titans. Now, the reason why I have them over the Ravens, even though the Ravens probably have been playing better throughout majority of the season, is because you see what the Titans did to the Kansas City Chiefs. So I know the Chiefs are beatable right now, so it's not like a big thing if you beat the Chiefs this year compared to if it was last year or something. But, hey, man, look, you got to give respect. Derrick Henry, man, this dude, he threw a touchdown against the Chiefs last week. What else do you want this guy to do? He's running the ball at a high level. He's passing the ball, too. Like, Derrick Henry is just a monster. He's doing everything in this offense, and it's just great to see, man. I have him in fantasy, so, I'm just enjoying him right now. But even that, man, the way he just leads as a running back, he kind of is just the leader of this team. You expect it to be Ryan Tannehill, but I see this team goes as far as Derrick Henry goes, and he seems like he leads the team. The team follows after him, and that's crazy to say for a running back. At number 7, you got the Cincinnati Bengals. They made themselves a top 10 team this season, and right now they're leading their division. And look, man, you got to give respect to the Bengals. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, we already knew how great of a connection they had, but just the fact that they're putting it on the display now is just great. It looks like I'm watching LSU when I watched them to make great plays together. It would have been so much better if Justin Jefferson was on this team because you have all of them who played in college together. But you got them two boys there. Joe Mixon having a really good season for the Bengals, top 5 in rushing yards this year. Is that man, Joe Mixon. So just a great year for the offense of the Bengals. Head coach Zach Taylor, who a lot of people want fired from the Bengals. He's proven that, if you give him the talent, he can coach these boys up and make them a competent football team, make them compete. So good job by the Bengals, man. At number 6, you got the Green Bay Packers here. Green Bay, they getting the job done and, leading the NFC North division. They got a good game tonight against the Arizona Cardinals. So, good job by Green Bay. At number 5, you got the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills, they did drop a little bit. I believe I had them at 2 last time at the power rankings. Obviously, I missed last week's power rankings, but, last power rankings I had them ranked at 2, and they had to drop a little bit. Like I said, they had a bye week. They did lose to the Titans, but, they're still one of the best teams, in my opinion, in the AFC. And I believe they can still come out of the AFC and do what they got to do. So, just make some adjustments. They had the bye week. Now they got to go out and do it. At number 4, I got the Dallas Cowboys, man. Talk about a team that's 5-1. They're also coming off of a bye week playing amazing football. And as an Eagles fan, that does hurt to say a little bit. But, they're one of the top teams in the NFC right now, especially one of the top offenses. You got CeeDee Lamb playing good football, getting game-winning touchdowns. And you got Ezekiel Elliott, who's having a good year. And I'm glad, not like no Eagles, Cowboys bias stuff, but just as a football fan, I'm glad to see that a guy like Zeke coming back and having a good season, proving that he is still one of the best elite running backs in the NFL. That's good for the Cowboys. And their defense, led by Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs this year, is just really good. So good job by Dallas. At number 3, you got the Los Angeles Rams. Had a little bit of a heart attack versus the Lions, but they still got the job done, and that's good for the Detroit Lions. That's good for the Los Angeles Rams. I want to see what they do, man. They're in this really, really, really tight NFC West race between them and the Arizona Cardinals, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do. At number 2, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They literally walked all over the Chicago Bears. It was just, it wasn't even funny. They got the job done, though. I like what they did. They did what they were supposed to do to, right now, I can say a bad Chicago Bears team, at least the way that the Bears are performing. So you got number 2, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting the job done, and that's what you like to see. At number 1, though, you got the Arizona Cardinals, still the only undefeated team in the NFL. They got a big game tonight against the Green Bay Packers, so make sure y'all watch that, man. My power rankings could change if the Arizona Cardinals finally lose. A lot of things could change. They play the Packers, really good game tonight, but ladies and gentlemen, that was my Week 8 power rankings. I appreciate everyone for watching. Sorry that I missed last week, but ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know how it goes around here. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button for all basketball and football content. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions on today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been talking sports with MG Nas, and I'm out. Peace.